Hello, everybody. My name is Dana Lyons. I'm here with the Cows with Guns report. And in case you hadn't heard the name of that show yet, that's branding. Get it?
Yep.
Branding?
Yep.
Bad cow pun? Okay. And we are here in Casey's kitchen in Portland, Oregon.
It's glory.
In all its glory. Got the piano in the background, the plant. The hat didn't make it into the picture. There it is. And it's October 6th, 2011, and it's the first cold day. And it's cold in here. And we tried to get the fire going, but to no avail. So it's still cold. But it will start eventually. Casey is an old friend of mine and outstanding musician. I'm a huge fan of Casey's music, and we've sung around the campfire in many places. And Casey produced my album Three-Legged Coyote, which was an absolute riot. Mm-hmm. Thank you. And did a marvelous job. And when I had never worked with a producer before, and I honestly didn't know what one did, and I called Casey and I said, "Well, so what does a producer do?" And do you remember that conversation?
I remember the conversation. I don't remember my specific answer because there are a lot of things a producer does, and some of them are very vague.
Well, I think you just explained. The producer is there to kind of help massage the whole process, help get the musicians, help coach me on my performance. Like if you think I can get another vocal out, get up there and do it again. To put in your 2 cents on, hey, how about throwing this in, this instrument or that instrument, and you said that when I guess was Three-Legged Coyote the first album you produced?
It was, yeah.
Okay, and you said that you thought the album was my project. Mm-hmm. You would say what you thought.
Oh, I do remember this.
Yes, and you said this, and this was a big deal for me because what I was just worried about losing control, and you said, I will say what I think should be done, but in the end, it's yours, so you'll get the last say. Mm-hmm. And that was awesome, and I felt like we did that the whole time, and it was a great process, but. I don't know. You have any comments on being a music producer? The folks back in YouTube land might be like me and not know what a music producer does for a record.
Well, it's kind of, I would imagine it's similar on movies or any sort of project where you're kind of, the artist is, and I do this on my own albums and stuff where you're so inside of it and you're so inside the music and you're so inside what you want it to be and what you think it can be on the other, on when it's done. And how to get there can be daunting, and you can kind of just, be in your own head about it. And a producer is an outside set of ears on one hand to, like you said, talk about the instrumentation or performance or things like that. Sometimes producers handle all of the logistics, sometimes only a very little bit. Mm-hmm. I think I handled a lot of the studio stuff when we worked on it and scheduling and all that kind of stuff. And lined up the musicians for the more band-oriented songs. And then it's going back and forth and really talking about what the album needs. And you also came to me with a lot of songs. So then there was the question of, what songs are going to make the album? Like, where's the record in this? If there are 17 or 18 Dana Lyons songs on the table, what is the best 10 or 12 of them to be a concise cohesive project, and so we talked a lot about that and worked through it and made a great album.
Yes, yeah. I love the album. I still actually listen to it in my car sometimes, which is kind of a funny thing. Yeah. But yeah, it was an amazing to work. Portland, Oregon has, in my opinion, maybe the coolest music scene on the West Coast. Now I'm going to get in trouble now when I go to San Francisco and LA, but I do think it's brilliant, amazing, huge amount, a beautiful music community, outstanding players here. Now, the reason I said the date, October 6th, 2011, it's because I wanted to, keep this historic. You were in the studio today working on a new project. Just tell us a little bit about that project.
myself and my band, the Norway Rats, are making a new album, and so yeah, we've been put together sort of a similar thing, like Here Are the Songs of Mine, and we worked in the studio with the band for 3 days and really got things together, and then recorded the tracks, and now we're this is Winky. So today we're doing vocal tracks. So now the band, a lot of the bass foundation of the music has been recorded. The band essentially recorded live in the studio, and then we're going back, and I'm redoing a lot of the vocal takes and things like that. And so,
yeah, and I had the honor of hearing some of the early takes, and it's fabulous. I mean, beautiful, incredible songs, and I can't wait for it. And I know I'm going to have to, because it takes time. It takes time. Casey, I love Bruce Springsteen. I always have. You're a massive Bruce Springsteen fan. I got to go with Casey to see Springsteen in Vancouver, British Columbia. But just tell us a little bit about your passion for Springsteen music, and you go to a lot of his shows.
I guess really when I was a kid, I heard a lot of the music, and I grew up in the Northeast, where it's sort of very much in the fabric of life, his songs, and my dad listened to it. It was on the radio. It was, it was the 80s, so you couldn't escape him. But I really loved a lot of the music he made in the 70s. And then I never got to see him live. And then I guess it was when he put the E Street Band back together in the late 90s, and they came to Portland. And I was like, I've always wanted to see Springsteen. I've listened to his music my whole life. And I went, and then I was so blown away. I went again and again and again. And I kind of see it as like, if you're a massage therapist or a, floral arranger or any number of occupations in this world, you take classes or you go through some sort of process to learn your trade. And, for any musician, even if you can't stand the boss, if you go to his show, you will learn something about the trade and how to do it and how to win an audience, how to be authentic, how to, be a showman, all those things.
So do you have a degree at the University of Springsteen?
Yes, the University of E Street. It's framed on the wall over there. You can't see it in the shot here, but yeah.
Well, Casey, I'm going to ask you to sing a song off your current album. Is it Return to the Rank and File?
Goodbye to the Rank.
Goodbye to the Rank and File. I knew I was going to get that wrong. Goodbye to the Rank and File. And I absolutely love the whole album, and that album sat in my car stereo for 6 months. And listened to it over and over and over. I love it. And so after we wrap up this interview, we'll sit down and sing Radio Montana, which I just love. And I just got to tour in Montana this summer, and there were lines from that. I mean, I just sang that song in my own head driving through Montana. I absolutely love it. Well, before we sing that song, any words of wisdom or views of the world or anything in general you want to comment on, for the greater YouTube audience? I know it's kind of an amorphous question.
It's an amorphous question.
Or how about this? Just any, I don't know, anything. I guess this is still amorphous, but anything inspiring or I don't know. You don't have to.
I could talk about Radio Montana.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the song is about a smoke jumper. Very dangerous job. And anyway, it's kind of a guy who's probably beyond the age of doing it anymore, and has lived out in the boonies for a long time, and lost a loved one along the way, and was driving in his truck listening to some AM radio, and so that's kind of the and it's funny because when we made the album, there are all these big rockers and poppier songs and stuff, and this is it's you never know what people are going to respond to, and people have responded to this song really more than anything else in the whole album. So we'll play it for you in a minute.
I've never heard that story.
Yeah.
So that is so cool. So your website is caseyneal.org.
Yep.
And we'll flash that on the screen. And any shows, we're hoping to throw this up on YouTube soon, but any shows coming up soon that you want to announce?
Doing a tour in November of California, Southern Oregon, and then down to Los Angeles area, Joshua Tree, Northern California, San Diego. And then when the album comes out next year, we'll be playing all over the country. So.
Right on. This is Casey Neal. I'm Dana Lyons. Thanks so much, Casey.
Yeah.
All right.